Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am TheSaffronMan and this is RedVsRed, where two Manchester United fans from across the world give you our deep thoughts and reviews and reactions for all things Manchester United. We've just done a podcast where things got a little bit heated with me and Sporadically, which you can see on Friday. The podcast is already out on Saturday. You can go check that out on Rumble and on YouTube. But yeah, we just watched the Liverpool match and things were a little bit heated between us, and it seems as though that kind of heat or anger or frustration or whatever you call it is kind of leaked through to literally everyone in the Manchester United fan base. Even if you're not a Manchester United fan, you still seem to have an opinion of what's going on. And I get that. Manchester United is like the biggest club in the world. Every paper literally talks about them, quotes about them, and every ex-player has something to say against the Manchester United fans and player base and stuff like that. It's overwhelming at sometimes just how big Manchester United is as a club, right? So we're going to break down all of that today. So make sure you hit a like, subscribe, hit a follow if you're watching on Rumble. And yeah, thanks for everyone that's shown us support so far. But let's get right on into it, shall we? The first thing I want to talk about is Graham Souness talking about Kobbie Mainoo. Now, I swear to God, Graham Souness is only earning money to talk about Manchester United. Like Sky Sports, Talk Sport, wherever he talks from, it's like they only bring him on to talk about Manchester United. When do you hear Graham Souness talking about Liverpool? Don't really, do you? I can't remember a time where Graham Souness has talked about Darwin Núñez not doing well, or do you know what I mean? It's a very one-sided that an ex-Liverpool pro has a professional opinion on what's going on in Manchester United, where he spent literal years hating on Paul Pogba and many other of our players, right? So I don't get why people like TalkSport and Sky Sports News, I mean, they literally get him on for clicks because he knows he's going to be controversial, but it's wrong. It's literally wrong. So this is what he's saying about Kobbie Mainoo, right? He's done a whole article talking about all this. So this is what he says about our Kobbie Mainoo. If anyone shows anything, they're put into a superstardom category way before they've even become a good player. And Mainoo right now should be a player that's flitting in and out of a good team, not coming in and being asked to stand up and play against the very best teams. He might be a player one day, but he's certainly not the go-to man at United like they've been making him out to be in midfield. Like, what the heck? Yes, he has. He won us the game against Liverpool. He won us the game against Wolves. He literally scored the second goal in the FA Cup, and he was probably one of the better players for the England squad when we went to the Euros, right? I do not understand where this guy's coming from. And he's saying, well, the 3 games that he's been in this season, he's lost 2 of them. So have 10 other players plus subs in the squad. It makes no sense. I'm angry about it. Souness should literally be banned from talking about anyone at Manchester United because it's not fair on Kobbie. Like, Kobbie is being probably overplayed to a point where he's playing every game of every minute because, do you know what? He's the best option in our midfield that does all those things. And yeah, he didn't score against Liverpool in the 3-0 drubbing the other day. But that doesn't mean he's a bad player. Like, Casemiro and Bruno on Sunday, they left Kobbie alone in the midfield. Bruno's kind of trying to play a false 9 with Xerxes. Casemiro's trying to play that 6. And it's just Kobbie kind of in the middle trying to do what he can. Honestly, he is so good, Kobbie Mainoo. He is so talented. There might be a case where we are overworking him. Like, do I think he should be playing every minute of the 90? Probably not at his young age. But look, the game has changed. We've got 16-year-olds in Lamine Yamal winning the Euros, right? So, of course, every young player is like, well, if he's good enough, I want to be playing too. And that's the mentality of this new modern era of football. If you're good enough, you're old enough, right? That's kind of how the saying goes. So, look, we've just signed Suki Kone. who's 18. Lenny Yoro is 18. Obi Martin is 18 or thereabouts. He might even be 16. I can't quite remember. But we've hired a whole bunch of youngsters to be the next generational talent. And we've also got like people like Toby Collier coming in and doing bits and bobs as well. Our future is bright with our youngsters. But, oh, my word, Graham Souness, just sit down for a few minutes and leave our youngsters alone, you know? He is absolutely fantastic for us, and we're only 3 games into the season. So I have no doubts in my mind that Kobbie Mainoo is going to have a brilliant season for Manchester United, and he's going to continue to do well for England. And yeah, Graham Souness, people need to stop paying him to talk about Manchester United, right? Because then it's not Graham Souness's fault. He's literally being paid to do. If people were to come up to me, hey Saf, how about you talk about, I'll pay you to talk about the 115 charges Man City. How about that? Yeah, all right, sweet, no problem. And if people like Sky Sports and TalkSport are going to go to Graham Souness and say, hey, yeah, we're going to pay you some money, can you just talk about Manchester United for us? He's not going to say no. This is down to TalkSport, Sky Sports, and anyone else who pays him to talk about Manchester United for clickbait. It is literal damage to everyone. It's annoying. It's frustrating. I hate to see it, right? So, yeah, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. So Graham Souness carry on talking. Does he have a lick of sense? I don't think so. So let's move on to the next one, shall we? Okay, so we've got Jadon Sancho. My goodness. If there was one player that I'm glad to see the back of, it's Jadon Sancho, okay? Now, on deadline day, he got sold to Chelsea. It's a season-long loan with an obligation to buy as long as Chelsea finish above 14th, right? So if Chelsea finish 14th or better, they are going to pay 20 to 25 million for the permanent transfer of Jadon Sancho. Now, that's wages off our books. That's a negative influence of the squad out of the training room. So, yeah, I think overall it's a good thing, okay? And at the very least, his attitude has been exposed. You know, last year we sent him away for 3 months because he wasn't right. Like, when was the last time you heard anyone, any player, being sent away mid-season to try and get his head straight or to just get himself sorted out? No one has been sent away to another part of the world to try and sort themselves out. And he came back and he's just never done it. He looked good during pre-season, but it's probably because the transfer market was open. He did okay when we sent it to Borussia Dortmund, got to a final, didn't really turn up in the final. He had one good game against Paris Saint-Germain, which is probably why we managed to get the money that we did. But his attitude towards Manchester United, we spent 2 years trying to buy him. We bought him as a 21-year-old, and now he's 23, and he's just done nothing. The biggest waste of money, apart from Anthony, that we've spent in the last decade, I would say. And his thank you to Manchester United was just... It just explains everything about Jadon Sancho. So here's what's happened. So Sancho has joined Chelsea on loan for a season with the aim to sign permanently next summer. In a succinct message to social media, Sancho posted, "Thank you to all the fans, staff and teammates, wishing everyone the best in the future." You could have literally got anyone or any... Like, I could have wrote a better thing for Sancho. Right, it's literally, what, 6 words or so? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Like 17 of the worst chosen words for a goodbye message ever. I don't know what to expect, but this was really, really bad. I did not enjoy this whatsoever. In contrast, Sancho posted a 6-paragraph farewell to Borussia Dortmund at the end of last season, which... Can't speak. Look, he was there for a lot longer, I get it, but it just shows the attitude of the guy, that he kicked up a fuss, he's complained about Ten Hag, he never trained well, he never played or performed well, he got sent away for mental health issues to come back, and then how does he repay us? He repays us with those 17 words, and it's literal garbage. So I couldn't kick him out of the club fast enough, if I'm honest, right? Take a hit. We needed him out of the club. He was not a good influence. He cost a lot of money, which hopefully we're not paying now. And as long as Chelsea finish 14th or above in the season, which is more than likely. So, yeah, I'm very happy with that deal because he was a bad apple. There was a reason why he didn't stay at Man City. And we thought we could change that, and it didn't happen. So I'm very happy to see the back of Jadon Sancho. Hopefully Amad Diallo gets a few more minutes, as well as some of the other youngsters that we have. He could have been a bit part player for us. He could have turned it around. But once you have a bad apple, you need to get rid of. Obviously, the other apples are going to turn bad. Now, we don't have a whole new batch of good apples at the moment. So, yeah, this one was rotten from the core. Very glad to see him go. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments as well. So, as well as all of that, we've had an article come out from Omar Barada and Dan Ashworth today. And I've kind of got it here in front of me. Now, it's a big interview. I'm going to try and read through some of the quotes and some of the talking points here. But just remember that this was done during the summer. There was a time gate on it, so no one was allowed to post it until a certain time or date, which they agreed to. And that was today, apparently. So we've had 2 days after the Liverpool game, and this interview that was done a few weeks ago has now been allowed to be released, right? So let's just kind of start talking here. So in a conversation with Ashworth and Barada, explained strategy. How would you describe the squad you inherited? Well, Ashworth says, first of all, I didn't inherit it, we did at Manchester United. We're a team in all of this, so from the 1st of July, when I officially joined the club, there had already been some decisions made about key areas to the pitch to strengthen. We'd already lost 2 or 3 key players in Raphael Varane, Anthony Martial, Sofra and Amrabat. From memory had all gone, so there was a centre-back, a central midfielder, player, a 6, and a centre forward where the key and where we felt probably would need another centre back as well. They were the 4 key positions we really wanted to strengthen in this window. We've done that by bringing in Xerxes, Ugarte, Euro and De Ligt. And I have to say, with those 4 and the youngsters that we got in Sekou Kone and Obi Martin and a couple of others, I think it's a really good call for a first window. Remember, Jim Ratcliffe mentioned that it's going to take up to 2 or 3 windows to try and get that change going in Manchester United. And I think it's a very, very positive and well thought out start. We've got the best in class for their age in Lenny Euro as centre-back for 50 mil away from Real Madrid. That is a real coup. And it's a signal of intention for what we're looking for, right? I continue. And that was fundamentally, as I walked in, the pre-agreed positions, partly because of exits and partly because of the view they were areas we wanted to strengthen our depth and quality. Mazraoui and Wan-Bissaka was one where Aaron had a year left on his contract, had an opportunity to move on, so we were able to freshen it up and trade that position. Now, I agree that he's freshened it up and traded obviously swapped basically Wan-Bissaka for Mazraoui. Give or take a few £100,000 is pretty much the same price tag. Obviously, Mazraoui is younger, but look, we brought Wan-Bissaka in for 50 million. I believe that we've improved him, and yet West Ham, literally West Ham fans are saying it's daylight robbery that they got him for 50 million. They are very happy with that purchase. I wasn't as happy with that because I believe in Aaron Wan-Bissaka's qualities, and he is just fantastic at what he does. So yeah, I think that's fine. We've got a younger option. Again, whether he's better or not, I believe that trade or that purchase was a good purchase all in all. I would love to have kept Wan-Bissaka for squad depth, but if he wanted to move on to West Ham, it's happened now, so be it. But West Ham have got a gem of a player. We've got a gem of a player back, but now we've only got one right back because Deleu's playing at left back because we've got no left backs. So maybe that squad depth will come towards Christmas. But yeah, it is what it is, right? I continue with the quote, and also go back to the financial rules and regulations that you rightly have to act within. So it's not just as simple as being able to change everybody, nor do we want to. It's just about making good decisions in the next few windows to maximise our resources and the talent we've already put in the squad and the talent that's coming through the system. Now I have to say that Jim Ratcliffe mentioned at the beginning of, I think it was February, something like that, when we came in, or it might even be just before the summer. Not a single player is £100 million or more in our team, right? Which was a bit of a reality check, because people think, yeah, we could sell Rashford for £100 million. I was one of those people. I believe Rashford was £100 million player, especially after the season we got 30 plus goals, but it's not kind of worked out that way. So I get it. We didn't have an expensive player. Bruno Fernandes, we could probably only sell for, like, I don't know, around what we got him for around the 50 million mark. We're never going to sell Casemiro for what we paid for him either. So I agree with what you're saying there, right? And next question was, Ten Hag had a lot of power in the old recruitment structure, and it seems that he continued with the incomings this summer, question mark. Ashworth says, again, I can't comment on what's happened previously. I don't know how they've made the decisions on players coming in. As I've already alluded to, it's a joined up process. We looked at objective, subjective opinions and come up with some best possible solutions we can fill in the positions we identified. And again, they've done that because Lenny Euro is the best in class for his age bracket, in his position. I think it's a really, really good purchase there. Question, what happened with Sancho? We've already discussed Sancho, but this is what Ashworth said. And remember, this is before we kind of sold him, I think. So it says, I think with any player, whether it's Jadon, or it's Scott McTominay, or wherever it's Aaron, if there's a preference that they would like to move and go to a new club, and it's right for them, and it's right for us, then you have to explore it. We felt we had enough depth in that particular position to be able to cover it. We've got 4 really good wide players. Jadon was a 5th, and it just enabled us to make a decision. If it was good for him and good for us, it was something we were willing to consider. Now, who are those 4 wingers? We've got Rashford, we have Garnacho, we have Amad Diallo, and then we've got Anthony. Now, it's tough. Yes, he's right. We've got 4 good-ish wingers, but unfortunately, Rashford has been out of form for 14 months. Anthony hasn't really turned up to the club whatsoever. So we're yet to see the best out of both of those. And if one of those 2 turns up and has a good season, I think we can manage that. We cannot manage with 2 out-of-form wingers, and we can't play Diallo and Garnacho for every minute of every game. So we need depth, and I don't think Anthony and Rashford are it at the moment. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But it's really kind of frustrating to hear that we've got 4 good wingers, where really it's 2 good wingers and 2 out-of-form wingers, right? And we need to do something about that. But yeah, overall, I thought this interview with Barada and Ashworth was definitely worth the read. You should definitely go check it out. I'm looking at the Sky Sports article right now in full. Be sure to go check it out yourselves. But yeah, I think one thing that's happened from the Liverpool game, there's been a wave of negativity from all corners of Manchester United fan base, and even outside. I've seen some people saying Southgate in. I've seen some people say just some crazy stuff that you just wouldn't believe. Like, calm yourselves. We're 3 games into the season. We've just literally backed Erik ten Hag with a new contract. He's not going to be sacked. Like, especially before the January transfer window. Like, maybe after Christmas, if we're like sitting 18th or something, we might have a problem on our hands. But look, we're not going to get Southgate in. Just stop with the Southgate talk. Stop with the Erik ten Hag out talk. Let's just calm ourselves. Let's get some of these players. Ugarte hasn't even started yet. Euro hasn't even started yet. De Ligt hasn't played a whole game. We need time to let the core group that we just brought in adjust to life at Manchester United. And that's it. It's very frustrating to see some of the things that, like, so-called United fan base have been saying. I watched Stephen Howson's video earlier on, and it's just like, he left by having enough of the internet for one day. That's because the rubbish that some people were mentioning. I think a Man City fan jumped on in and said, how can you keep backing Erik ten Hag with his 2 fake trophies? Like, how can you call the trophies fake? I don't get it. And he's a City fan. So, yeah, look, there's lots of frustration in and about the place. Look, rightly so to some extent. It wasn't a good performance against Liverpool, and we were unlucky against Brighton. So we've got 2 losses out of 3, and everyone thinks our season is done for already. I really don't think that. I think we have a positive, but we need to keep that group positive inside the changing rooms, right? We have a fantastic squad, but the players aren't there as individuals as yet. No one's really on form. No one's really got out of pre-season just yet. So, look, usually when Ferguson was in charge of Manchester United, sometimes we'd have a dodgy first 4 or 5 months, but then when the second half of the season comes in, you know that we're going to be on form and we're going to be pushing it. Now, City are basically doing that as well, right? But then they're starting much earlier. They are really putting a pedal to the metal. They've got 3 wins out of 3 already. But City don't really turn up until the second half of the season, right? Even though they got their wins at the moment. But yeah, they are more consistent. And we just need to find that consistency. Let's not lose all of the positivity that we had during the summer. Because it was a positive summer. We got rid of so many... I've got... let me just go through, where's that list here? Okay, so, arrivals. Let's start with the free transfers, right? So this summer, we got rid of Varane, we got rid of Martial, Amrabat, Shoretir, Brandon Williams, and Amari Forson, right? So that's 6 players on free transfer right away, okay? In sales, we've got Jadon Sancho, Scott McTominay, Hannibal Mejri, Will Fish, Facundo Palestri, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Mason Greenwood, Woody Kambwala, Donny van de Beek, and Alvaro Fernandez. Okay, 6, 9, that's 10 players sold, and we've brought in 5. Okay, Joshua Zirkzee, Lenny Yoro, Matthias de Ligt, Nusar Mazraoui, and Manuel Ugarte. Mate, that's a really good transfer window in my book. We've got lots of players out, and we've got a stronger core of players that we did previously. So in January, we could probably sell 1 or 2 more. Even some of the fringe players loan out for options to buy or something like that. And then we can bring in more core players. We've had a very good transfer window, right? Don't let anyone tell you different. Some of the prices we've got, all the sales that we've had a sell-on clause added to it as well. So Mason Greenwood, who's doing well at the moment, we've got a sell-on clause like 40-50%. Long may that continue. He's not going to play at Manchester United again, but if Real Madrid want to come in for him in like 12 months' time or something, we're going to get 50% of that deal. That's good business. We've done a really good transfer window. I'm very positive to see how this all going to change. But look, takeaways from all of this, right? If you're one of those Ten Hag out people, you're also an Omar Barada out. You're a Dan Ashworth out. And you're a Brailsford out. All right? Because they all agreed to try and bring him in and to keep him. He is their manager. They are backing him. So if you're Ten Hag out, you are basically Manchester United out as well. Which, just breathe, okay? Trust in the system. These are all fantastic people I've got up on the screen at the moment. We need to believe in their process. Give them time. They've had a couple of matches of this new season. They need another couple of transfer windows. Now, look, if you think it's bad now, just go back to how things were 12 months ago. Before Jim Radcliffe had bought Manchester United, we had no sign of hope. We had no future. Things were as bad as they've ever been. Things are really good in comparison to 12 months ago. We've got players out. We've got players coming in. We've got a consistent, solid manager. We have people above him running the club a decent way now. Things are so much better. So just everyone collectively with me. Come on. And, okay, one more time. In and out. Okay, we have got really good things going on in Manchester United. It hasn't been a perfect start. I'm with you on that. But let's just calm our tits on trying to get rid of Erik ten Hag, because I believe in a system. I believe in Jim Radcliffe and what he's done in hiring all these people, best in slot people for those. Look, it's great. It's fine. We're going to have a good season. If you agree with me, let me know in the comments below. Say hi on Twitter. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Follow on Rumble. I've been the Saffron Man. You'll see sporadically on Friday, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And we'll be back with the main podcast on Sunday, which is now on YouTube as well. So thanks for everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed yourselves, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.